Hello friends. So today we are going to start the chapter number 4 in your syllabus, that is place mix and promotion mix, and from which we are going to start here with this presentation to understand the place mix. So this is the third P in the 4 P's of marketing mix. Earlier we have gone through the product mix, then the price mix. Now we are in the place mix. Meaning and concept of channel of distribution. Now, as this P is concerned with the place, so we require the distribution channels so that the different places can be get covered for distribution of the product. Now, the distribution channel, or how we can say about a channel of distribution. So distribution channel are the network of any organization, including the manufacturers, wholesalers, retailers, that distribute goods or services to the consumers. Now this is very important, that every manufacturer who is manufacturing a product, so he requires to cope up with the market so that he can sell more and more of his products, and for that purpose he required a proper distribution channel, and his own decision is very important about to choose the proper distribution of channel according to the product. Now this way you can have the another definition, that the distribution channel is the network of individuals and organizations involved in getting a product or service from the producer to the customer. Distribution channels are also known as marketing channels or marketing distribution channels. In the field of marketing, the distribution of, we can say, the components, so that is the path or the route where we can say the component will be get produced and it will be get sold. So this is a path from production to the consumption, and which will be there with the help of some middlemen. We can define formally the distribution channel as the set of interdependent marketing institutions participating in the marketing activities involved in the movement of flow of goods or services from the primary producer to the ultimate consumer. So this way you can define the channel of distribution or marketing channel. Now every production industry, its own objective or prime objective is the production, and that production is for the consumption. So if the consumption is there, then and then only the manufacturer will have the production capabilities. Now, the movement of product from producer to consumer is an important function of the marketing. It is the obligation of the producer. That means the producer has to think, has to work properly on this, that his product should be available at the right place, at the right time, at the right price, and at the right quantity. So, any misplaced thing in these four of the things, that is at right place, at right place, at right time, at right price, and at right quantity, so can be converted into we can say the customer will not be get happy in that case. So the process of making goods available to the customer's need is the objective of any channel of the distribution. Therefore, the path taken by the goods in its movement, we are again calling as the channel of distribution. And this is the prime objective of any channel of distribution, that the ultimate customer should be get happy. The types of channel of distribution or the intermediaries. Here, in this case, there are different types by which a production industry can reach to the customer with their product. Now, the distribution channel as we have already defined it as the path through which the goods or the service, or we can say the payment of those goods or services travel from vendor to the consumers. Now, in this case, this path, any industry can be designed, or any industry can be take help with the help of the wholesalers, the distributors, the agents, and the retailers. So these are the four ways by which a company can reach to the customers. Now, the different factors, those are influencing the selection of the channel. Now, these factors we can have with us, and we are studying these factors because the influence of this selection of channel is directly on the sales. And again, sales means the revenue generation of the company. So every organization has to work properly so that there will be no negative influence, okay, because of the selection of their channels. And the selection of the channel, the company or the organization can be look out according to the product consideration first of all. That means the price of the product, weight of the product, standardization of the product, product nature, and after sales service required. So these are the product characteristics according to which an organization has to think about which channel will be preferable. Now in this case, a high priced product will require less middlemen because the buyers are limited, and here in this case the company has to properly choose the proper middle is the required middle is, so that the ultimately the area also get covered and the components or the products can be sold properly. On the other hand, a low priced product with a large number of buyers will require more channel of middlemen so that we can reach more to the more and more customers. As the cost is less and the buyers require it more, okay, for example, your bakery products are there, okay, so in this case you require more and more channels so that you can cover the more area, okay, and the more buyers can get satisfied with your product. The second characteristic is the weight. As we can say, the heavy and the bulky product, if it is there, so in that case it should be directly sold so that the handling characteristics, or we can say the handling cost, will be minimum. And to minimize this handling cost, okay, it is very important that they should be sold directly to the customers. If we put the middle is, so in that case the handling cost will be get increased, damage will be get increased. Next is the standardization. Now in this case, if our product characteristics is a standard one, okay, and if it is universally accepted and you are having the universal clientage, so in that case you require again more middlemen so that you can reach to the customers. Product nature is very important again. A product nature, if it is a perishable product, that means if it's a life is not so much, we have to consume it in a less time, okay, so in that case this perishable nature of the product is very important concern, and in that case if we put more middlemen, then in that case so rejection you have to accept. So in a less middleman you have to produce, or you have to sell these perishable products, and in that case you have to directly sell, okay, to the customers. The next or the last characteristics of the product is very again important, that is after sales service required. If the after sales service required will be there for your product, then in that case the selection of the middle is should be happen where you can say that if we provide proper training to that middle is for getting the sales or the services of the product, so it is price worth for the customers also. So in this case we can say the product characteristics are very important okay, which may influence the channel of the selection of the channel of distribution. The second is the market considerations, in which you require to properly have the segmentation study. This market consideration and the third consumer consideration. In both the case, the segmentation study is very important. Now, the market size, in the market consideration, the market size plays a vital role, in which a larger area if you require to cover for your product. So in that case, the long distribution channel should be get selected. Nature of customers is very important again, in which the product required for industrial purpose, okay, customer, if it is the industrial purpose product and if the customer is a industrial, then we require to have proper middle is, okay, who can be settled into that industrial zone only, okay, or you have to sell directly to the customer thereafter. So you require to see the nature of the consumer in this case, that it is a domestic or it is a industrial according to your product, and you have to put the middle is properly in this case. The third thing is location of the buyers. Now the location of the buyers is also an important, and in which you require to put the proper middle is according to the location. If suppose the thick area you have to cover for your product, so in that case no need to have the middle is in between, because a thick area, thick population is there, so in that case you can directly sell, okay, door to door deliveries for your product. But suppose the buyers are dispersed, and in that case, okay, you require to cover all the buyers, so you require to put the wholesalers and the retailers in this case. So this market consideration will be there. In the consumer consideration, so the two things are very important, that how many consumers are there and by how much quantity they are going to purchase. If the consumers, number of consumers, okay, are more, so in that case you require more medals. If number of consumers are less, you can go with door-to-door deliveries. Again, the quantity to be purchased, if it is more or less, that is again influence, okay. And in this case, when consumers purchase large quantity of the goods, then we are always saying that to reduce the cost, okay, we can directly deal with the manufacturer or the producer in this case. So this is very important, that how much quantity they are going to purchase. Okay. Now next consideration is about the middleman considerations, in which the middlemans, those who are working in the chain, so according to their considerations, their availability, the cost the company required to pay on them, and the effect of sale due to the availability of the middleman. So these considerations are again important, because they are again going to affect the selection of the channel. Now the availability of the suitable middleman is essential, and it works if we have a proper study of the segmentation. The cost on which we can say that we require to pay for the middleman a commission for the selling. Now in this case, the commission will be depends on the active participation of the middleman, because in further we can say the effect on the sales will be due to of the middleman's, where the acceleration of the sales will be happens due to the middleman. So the commission strategies we require to be developed according the sale and according the active participation. That means how the middleman is promoting the product. So these considerations are important according to the middleman. The next consideration is about the manufacturer. Now this is the last consideration in which the ability of the manufacturer is very important. It may be the financial ability, it may be the production ability, or it may be the distribution ability. So in this case, the financial position of the manufacturer is very important, because according to the financial position only, he can choose the distribution channel. The volume of production, if it is more, so in that case, more channels will be required in that case. And if the large volume is there, so it is preferred that if suppose the manufacturer itself have their own channel, own retail outlets, then it will be a diversified effect. That means there is no need to put the commission on the other persons. So we can have the gaining again with the help of our own retail outlets for the selling. Then the control over distribution is again very important, because if the tight control is there, then and then only we can satisfy the all segmentation in a good way. So this is very important considerations which affects the channel distribution or the selection of the channel distribution. Then we can have the conclusion according to the factors which influence on this channel distribution, and for that purpose the concluding statements we can have in the fashion that a rational decision regarding choice of the channel of distribution should ensure the following things. The cost of distribution should be minimum. Then the promotion efforts should be maximum. So every middleman should act as a promoting agent for our product, so that the sale can be increased. Then maximum geographical market area should be covered. Consumer satisfaction should be maximum. And while doing all fours of these things, we should always keep in mind the fifth one, that is the financial and other limitations of the producer, because it should not become an overburden to the producer. So this way we can have that whatever the selection of the channel will be there for the production. So in that case, these all five are the decisions should be taken into mind. Now, what should be the strategies for the distribution? If an organization is required to distribute with the able of the Middle East, with the help of the wholesalers, retailers, so how should be the strategy for the distribution? Now in this case, it represents the level of international availability selected for a particular product by the marketer. So this distribution strategy is important, and it is one of the ability of the producer. Now the level of intensity chosen will depends on the factors such as how much production capacity is available with the producer, what is the size of the market he has taken into consideration for selling, what kind of pricing or the price mix strategies he have been kept for his product, what are his promotion policies, the amount of the product service required by the end user. That means after sales if you require some service, so according to that again the level of intensity has to be decided. Now These distribution strategies can be divided into the three parts. The one is the intensive, second is extensive, and third is selective. Now in this case, the intensive distribution is aiming for highest customer satisfaction for the availability of the product. Now in this case, the intensive distribution aims to provide saturation coverage of the market by using all available outlets. That means your product can be available in all outlets. If this case happens, if this strategy you are applying for your product, so in that case you are going to call it as an intensive distribution. In this case, the mass production is very important at the side of producer, and again the product should not be perishable. So these two things are very important into consideration. For many products, the total sales are directly linked to the number of outlets used. For example, if we choose a cold drink brand like Coca-Cola, so in that case we are knowing that this cold drink can be available intensively. It will be available not only at top restaurants, even that it is a brand, even that it is having a name, it is not a local product. Still, it is not available only in the top restaurants, but it will be available nearby to any customer with the help of small tea stalls, retailers, sweet marts, different stalls. So we can say a customer can easily get the product, and this availability of this product with the brand name, so this satisfies the customer. So this is an intensive strategy for selling the company. This strategy will help the organization to increase the sales for their product. The second strategy is the selective distribution. Now, in the selective distribution, we can say if the limited number of outlets according to the geographical segments, if we are choosing, so we can call this as a selective distribution. Now this is required in the products where very sensitive the test is important or the product performance is important. So in that case, a proper training to the persons, those who are selling that product at the outlet, it is very important. And in that case only the selective distribution strategy is being employed. For example, we are having the Domino's pizzas or we are having the KFC like a brands. Now this Domino Pizza or KFC, they are providing proper training to the outlet persons so that their brand name should not be get disturbed. And in this case, it is very important to provide the training, appropriate training, so that the outlet person can perform in a good way. If such a distribution strategy if we apply, then we call it as a selective distribution. The last one is exclusive distribution or extensive distribution, in which it is important to consider exclusively if a showroom we are being kept for our product. So considering maybe the population, considering maybe the specific geographic area, if only one distribution channel will be available by which only the selling will be happens, only one wholesaler will be available or only one retailer will be available by which the selling will be happens. then this will be called as exclusive distribution. Now this, the producer can be confirmed with the help of maybe the area of the geographic or the population inside that geographical area, so that they can serve properly for their products also. This is a common form of distribution in the products and brands that seek a high prestigious image. For example, a two-wheeler and a four-wheeler showroom. So exclusively they will have only one showroom, and this one showroom will be depends on maybe the number of persons available nearby the area, or how much area that the showroom can be catch up. So this is very important. We call it as a exclusive distribution. Now, coming to the next point, that is the recent changes in the terms of logistics. Now the term logistics is a channel of distribution where globally some recent changes are there because of the digitalization inside the market. The recent changes here provided as blockchain technology. The blockchain technology nowadays, it is a because of the fail-safe digital contracts in between the stakeholders as manufacturers, suppliers, customers, auditors, warehouse managers and others, so that they can create a transparent and efficient system for recording the transactions, tracking assets and managing all documents involved in the logistic process. So this complete process, which is nowadays famous, so that the transparency in the movement will be there, which is known as blockchain technology. The second change is been called as digitalization of logistic industry. Now, with the digitalization, we can say the persons, the customers are now having literacy in the digital technology, and the consumers awareness is there. So every company should work on the digitalization for the logistic also. So this is an online platform by which the purchase decisions can be provided, and again the logistic decisions or the logistic information can be provided to the customers. Nowadays there is another emergence technology which is known as 3PL or 5PL, where we can say third party logistics or fifth party logistics. These are the terms which are coming into the market, global market, which can accelerate the global logistics with the stipulated time period. Another method is efficient last mile deliveries, where we can say the same day delivery is the fashion in the today's market. So whatever the customer choose and he requires the same day delivery, so the provision made for this inside the e-commerce, so it has been called as the last mile deliveries. Integration of drones and smart glasses. So this is again in the foreign markets, this is again actively working, in which the drones which are integrated for the delivery, and the smart glasses also. So here the technology with the help of self-driving vehicles, autonomous vehicles and the trucks which can reliably give the delivery not only in the urban but also in the rural areas also. The elastic logistic is another way where you can have the buzzword in the logistics and the supply chain industry. So this is a buzzword which is conceptually comes into the market and it is required for the expanding or the shrinking capabilities where the demands we are knowing somehow the demands are expanding or shrinking as per the needs into the market, and according to that the elastic nature should be provided for the logistics. And the last one is the implementation of the chatbots and the collaborative robots. We can again call them as a cobots. So nowadays these cobots are working on the digital platform and they are helping, as these are voice controlled chatbots which can directly interact with the users to perform the specific actions. So this can be a helpful tool for getting the orders, their deliveries accordingly. The last point of this chapter is the supply chain management. Now, the supply chain management is again a activity or it is again a process where we can have a chain of manufacturing to selling. So here all the components or all the elements, okay, that the products required for getting manufactured to the product gets sell down and again the transaction happens for the money. So all the elements binded together so that we can call a chain of the management, supply chain of the management. The goal of SCM software is to improve the supply chain performance. So we can say the timely and accurate supply chain where the manufacturer also get the proper information about what kind of manufacturing they require. Accordingly, they can set their production setup, they can get the raw material from the market, they can make the product, pack it properly as per the delivery schedule, they can dispatch. So these all activities combinedly provided with the help of a software which is a SCM software or supply chain management software, where we can easily improve the supply chain as in between the stock will not be get developed or the inventory will not be get developed. So this is effective way by which we can manufacture and we can ship the products. Now there are 6 components which are helping for the supply chain management. The first one is planning. So every enterprise requires the planning for their production and the planning of the resources, not only the material but for the manpower also. So all kind of a planning will be happen into the first component which is required, which is known as a planning. This planning is totally depend to meet the customer demands. The second element is called as sourcing, where for the production of the component, whatever the sources are required, how many vendors will be there. So from all the vendors, that materials, that services can be get easily with the help of this sourcing as an element in the SCM. Then the third element is making. That means we require to produce. Okay. Now in this case, while making the quality of the product as per the manufacturing standard or as per the customer's need, so it was been happen or not happen. So all this done with the help of the third element, which is known as the making. So in the making, the component is produced and it is packaged as per requirement again for the shipping purpose. The fourth element is the delivery, in which the logistic will deliver the product as per the need of the customer, as per the delivery schedule. They can call the trucks, they can load the components, and they can generate the invoices and receive the payments also. So with this fourth element, all logistic work can be happen properly. The next one is very important, which is the fifth element, which call it as a return, where every enterpriser should look out into the defective or the excess or unwanted products, and a flexible network should be provided to the customer so that he can return the defective or excess or unwanted products. The last element is called as enabling. So to operate efficiently the supply chain, we require the number of supporters in between, and these supporters can easily boost the performance of the supply chain management. Here they can again see that all activities are happened according to the organization's regulations and also with the government regulations. So for that purpose, this enabling sixth element is required to be there in the SCM, who can assure that the process is happened correctly.